In this cold weather, finding warmth gives us comfort. In this episode, we will explore the beautiful islands of the Caribbean and immerse ourselves into its clear waters, white sand, and radiant sun. Join me in this local journey through Latin America. Carlos Pacheco was born in the Dominican Republic and now lives in British Columbia. He will introduce his home country while showing us the process of making mofongo, a staple Dominican dish.
I am originally from the Dominican Republic. Well, Dominican Republic, it's located in an island called Hispaniola. It's in the Caribbean Sea. In the north we have the Atlantic Ocean, and in the south we have the Caribbean Sea. We have 30 provinces and a national district, which is the capital. Our capital city is called Santo Domingo. There are many ethnic groups in our country. Our country is a mix between mainly the Spanish, which we were a colony for many years, since 1492 until 1812. Also, the Taino people were a very important group for us. They are not with us nowadays anymore due to the colonial past.
The Taino are indigenous people of the Caribbean who inhabited what is now called Cuba, Jamaica, Haiti, and the Dominican Republic, along with Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. The Spanish invasion decreased the number of Taino people. However, this didn't prevent the culture from leaving its islands, at least in the culinary field. The Taino cultivated cassava, sweet potatoes, corn, beans, and other crops, which are still found in many Caribbean countries today.
But also the Africans were a very important group for our culture. That is part of what we are nowadays, of course. Our country's currency has the same name as many other currencies in Latin America. It's called peso. Peso Dominicano. It's like different than other currencies. It's not the same, but yeah. Well, there are plenty of dishes that our country is known for. Mofongo is a dish that we share with other countries like in Puerto Rico, but it's also very well known in the Dominican Republic. It consists mainly in fried plantains with chicharrón, which is pork skin. Then we smash it and mix it with garlic and salt and oil and other things. And you can eat it with anything else that you like. In our case today, we had it with some red onions. First, the plantains, the green plantains are not very easy to find here. So if you find them, you have to chop them in small pieces, maybe 1.5 inch length, right? So you have to cut them, then you deep fry them. So you take the pilon, right? And first you put a little bit of oil. I rather use olive oil. You take a little bit of garlic and you smash it. You put some salt, pepper, and some bacon if you like it. You smash it there, and you start smashing it all together there until it gets into a paste. For me, well, I used to have this dish, honestly, my personal relationship with this dish, I used to have it very often when a family member used to come to visit us there. So it has a family meaning to me. Oh, by far our national sport is baseball. Has been like that since cockfight was not like the most important sport back in the day. But yeah, easily, baseball is the most common sport in the Dominican Republic. That's why you can find many baseball players from the Dominican Republic playing in the Major League Baseball. Also, basketball is growing a lot, and football, and also female volleyball. It is very big in the Dominican Republic. Internationally, our country is well known for tourism. A lot of people just go there for going to the beach, having a good time, a good sun, sandy ocean vacation. Like there are plenty of things that our country has to offer apart from that. Since many people go there to go to the beach, mainly Punta Cana. And Puerto Plata are very common, but also the colonial zone in the Santo Domingo city. It's pretty nice to walk around and see the city. Jarabacoa and Constanza are pretty nice towns as well. They are in the mountains, so the weather is not like freaking hot like everywhere else. So yeah.
As some might know, Puerto Rico is an island territory of the United States. Therefore, all Puerto Ricans are Americans. This means that there aren't a lot of Puerto Ricans in British Columbia. However, this doesn't stop us from getting to know this beautiful island. So, let me give you a brief overview of Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is located in the Caribbean Sea, east to the Dominican Republic and west to the Virgin Islands. Puerto Rico has 78 municipalities that are similar to counties. They are divided into 8 regions. Some of the largest municipalities are San Juan, which is considered the capital city, Bayamón, Carolina, and Ponce. Puerto Rico has a diverse ethnic composition comprising of African Americans, white Spanish Europeans, and the Taino people, who are indigenous of the Caribbean. The 2 official languages in Puerto Rico are Spanish and English. However, Spanish is more widely spoken than English. Puerto Rico has a rich and diverse cuisine that reflects its cultural heritage. Some of the typical dishes include arroz con guandules, rice with pigeon peas, is a staple dish that is often served with roasted pork. Mofongo, deep-fried green plantain, is a mashed plantain dish that can be stuffed with meat or vegetables. Lechon asado, roasted pork, is a dish that is marinated with herbs and spices and cooked over charcoal. asopao, rice soup, is a soup that can be made with chicken, shrimp, lobster, or beef. Puerto Rico has many tourist attractions that appeal to different interests and preferences. Some tourist attractions include Old San Juan, a historic district that preserves colonial architecture, museums, and cultural events. El Yunque National Forest, a tropical rainforest that offers hiking trails, waterfalls, wildlife viewing, and scenic views. Flamenco Beach is a stunning beach with white sand, clear water, and coral reefs. Now that you know a little bit more about Puerto Rico, let's continue our journey through the Caribbean. Julio Montero is a Cuban-born dance instructor who has in-depth knowledge of Cuban salsa, which is actually called casino in his native island. Apart from introducing us to Cuba, Julio will share his journey of bringing his culture to British Columbia.
My name is Julio Montero. I was born and raised in the city of Santiago de Cuba. I was born in the island of Cuba. Cuba is the largest island of the Caribbean, and the location would be right in between North and South America, but on the water. Right now, Cuba is divided into 14 provinces and one special municipality. Cuba is, in a way, a multicultural nation, or it used to be a multicultural nation. But today, Cuba is a country with, pretty much one defined identity. Cuba is made up by a combination of descendants of Europeans and Africans. There used to be a native population, but they have pretty much disappeared by today. We share similar dishes with countries from the region. What we like the most, our staple is rice, black beans or beans in general, pork. We love roast pork, fried plantains, yuca, known as cassava as well, and also congri. Anyways, those are our dishes. So when I came to Canada, I always had in mind getting back to university and doing my degree and follow a professional path. But as soon as I came to Vancouver, I joined a dance group. I saw how much enthusiasm there was around Cuban culture, and it was just a matter of time until I started teaching my own lessons. I realized that it gave me a great deal of joy, and in a way it was an extension of what I had studied in university in Cuba, because back home I went to school to become an English teacher, but upon arriving in Canada I was like, I don't think they need my teaching skills here. I decided to attend university studying sociology, anthropology, although eventually I did my major in languages. But along that line, found the joy of teaching people how to dance, and I realized that I enjoy teaching. I enjoy, passing my culture on to people. I enjoy seeing the change that it made in their lives. What I grew up dancing in Cuba is called casino. We don't even use the word salsa in Cuba to describe our dance. I had to incorporate that word into my vocabulary upon coming to Canada. I realized that the word casino is not a commercial term, and here in Canada it can be a little bit confusing. I cannot advertise casino lessons because I'm afraid I'll get the wrong crowd. I've had to adopt the term Cuban salsa in Anglophone Canada specifically. But that's how we call the dance back home, casino. Now, when you look at the salsa scene internationally, you realize that there are a whole bunch of styles, but three are the ones that are the most popular: Cuban casino, LA salsa, and New York salsa.
And I went to your dance class, and I noticed that it was in a circle. Some other classes that I've seen, they usually do like lines. So could you tell me like the difference, I guess, between doing it in the round circle and the lines?
Yes. Linear salsa, well, the name says it all. You know, when you look at people dancing the so-called linear salsa, the pattern looks very back and forth. When you see someone dancing Cuban style, the pattern is very circular. Now, that circle dance that you saw is called rueda de casino, casino wheel. And it's just a peculiarity of Cuban dance. It turns out that the way we dance can be adapted to a circle format without the dance losing its identity, without the dance losing its structure. It's just pure magic. So pretty much, I love culture. So what I like to teach is, cultural dances. I teach casino, and I also teach, I teach Cuban casino, and I also teach Dominican bachata. Most of what I teach, though, like the bulk of my work, revolves around Cuban casino, and also organizing social dance events where the music that we play is primarily Cuban music. People travel to Cuba primarily for two things, the climate and the culture. Some people just stick to the hotel life. They go to the resorts and enjoy the beaches and the nice weather. But there are many people who go to Cuba because of the culture. I'll tell you something. When Cuba and the United States announced that they were going to start a relationship again back in like 2016, there was this like panic. People started panicking that McDonald's, Starbucks, all that stuff was gonna start, like popping up everywhere. But when you look at the reality of what people go to Cuba for, everybody goes to Cuba to enjoy our capitalist past. What do you do in Havana? Admire the cars, admire the American cars and get a ride on them and lots of pictures with them. Admire the architecture from before 1959 and from the colonial times. Admire the music of the Buena Vista Social Club style, which is music from before 1959. Everything you go there to enjoy is stuff that has to do with that time. Even if the buildings are destroyed, you go there to like admire half-destroyed buildings and imagine and try to imagine the greatness, from back in the day. So that's a peculiarity of Cuban tourism that is ironic in many ways, because I don't understand why people worry about Cuba changing when all we need is change.
I love that line.
I hope that you enjoyed this beautiful tour of the Caribbean. In our next episode, we will finish the Central American tour with Guatemala and Panama. So don't miss out on these beautiful countries full of culture and delicious food in this local journey through Latin America.